What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Derek, aka Flipping a House, and today I'm taking you guys with me. We have another busy day. We're currently headed to the title company. I'm running late as always, and then we're going to check on two houses. One of those is the one that we're buying, and another one is one that we bought last week, but they're both in the same area, same numbers. So I'm going to talk about both situations, why we were able to get them at such a discount, and what we plan on doing as our exit strategy. But let's get to the title company. All right, guys, we have finally made it to title. Like I said, I was supposed to be here an hour and 5 minutes ago. I could not get up and get moving this morning, but luckily we're entrepreneurs. We can modify our days, and shout out to my title ladies. They love me, and the sellers have already signed. It was 3 siblings in this house. It was a probate deal. Like I said, I'll talk a little bit more about when we get there, and the agent just texted me that they dropped off the keys in the mailbox, so we're gonna go drop a lockbox as well. And like I said, when we get there, we'll do walkthroughs and just talk about the whole situation, because we had to overcome a lot in this deal particularly, but thank God we had an amazing agent on board, and they got a lot of the stuff done for us. This is why it's critical to have a good team and good partners when you're working on these deals, especially these off-market messy ones that are like probates and stuff like that. There's just a lot of moving parts that it takes to even get here to the closing table.
If you get a bill, like for back tax bill, can you send it to me?
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
You're like, of course
I can send you ones from other properties if you want.
No, thank you.
Oh.
One of the seller's daughters is going to keep an eye on the account and send it to me ahead of time. I have the money in escrow till October, but hopefully this form I send in.
Is it around that amount, or you just took extra, or
It's
not
with
sure?
It's with principal and interest added to it, so.
All right, guys, closing complete, and I wanted y'all to hear at the end there just talking about these airship files and just like everything. I mean, my title lady is a godsend. We've worked together for the last 2 or 3 years, and it's just every time you get these airship files and like people pop up, and like Texas has very specific laws and rules on just how these properties have to go. You have to make sure everything's in line, everybody's interest is accounted for, and this is why we only work with title companies that specialize in these investment deals and then also understand these Texas laws, and they can provide a title policy. Like I always talk about with you guys, you want a clear title commitment. That way, if something pops up or somebody's interest was ever missed, you know what I mean, you have insurance on that transaction so that you or your lender could get paid back, which is so important, especially when you're using other people's money. But now we got to go check on the house. Let's ride. It's going to be a long hour drive. Oh, perfect timing. I actually had to make a pit stop, guys. Like I told you, I am dragging, and we have an hour drive across Houston. I needed to fill up, so kill 2 birds, 1 stone, but let's get back moving. All right, guys, we pulled up to the property. Let's get this lockbox on, and then I'm gonna take you guys inside, and then we'll start breaking down the deal and everything. All right, guys, let me give you all a tour. So this is the property that we purchased this morning. We've been under contract for about 3 weeks right now, and it was a solid deal. This was brought to me by one of my followers on Instagram, who actually happens to be an agent. So yeah, this is the house, and I'm not gonna lie, it looked a lot better in pictures. We came to walk it a couple weeks ago, and yeah, there's some things wrong, but I'm gonna talk about all of that in just a second. Still got a lot of items to trash out here. And this home is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath currently, but if you guys saw when we came in, this front room over here, we're gonna turn this into a 4th bedroom, so it's actually gonna be a 4-2. Here's the 1st bathroom, hallway, half bathroom. Not terrible. Like I said, there were people living in here until they passed away, but just a lot of items we have to clean out. But my guys are starting on the other house nearby, and then they'll come here. All right, guys, so let's talk a little bit about this deal and why we felt so comfortable even buying this home. So right now we're in a zip code. It's 77047. We have done several homes in this neighborhood. Actually, the last home that I did was the terrible foundation home. It's a couple streets over, but that home was similar to this house in the sense of square footage. However, this home actually comes with a 2-car garage, and it's going to be a 4-bedroom, 2-bath as well. And we bought bought that home for $105,000 and we sold it for $213,000, and there has been a couple more comps since then. So I feel that this home is worth anywhere from $220,000 to maybe $230,000, depending on how nice you do it. Now, the reason I felt so comfortable buying is because we picked this house up for $100,000, and it was a really good deal because of the condition that it's in. Now, like I said before, I thought it was in better condition, but that's just how we make our money, right? It is what it is. On top of that, you know, we were able to come in, close in 3 weeks, and provide a solution for the family. Like I said, this was a probate situation, meaning that somebody, well, actually multiple people had passed away, and now their kids were ready to sell. Now, luckily, the kids were all on board to sell. Now, the hiccup came whenever we realized that some of the old paperwork from the first person who passed away was not done correctly, so we actually had to do a couple extra steps, but thank God the agent was on top of it. He had a wonderful relationship with the family, so they were able to provide us all the paperwork that we needed to be able to clear those things up from the old probate and get the new probate done with the witnesses, because we did have to do what is called an heirship affidavit, and that's basically when somebody doesn't have a will in place, but obviously we have to go through the chain of title to figure out who owns the property. So in Texas, it goes down first to the kids, and then after that, if they don't have any kids, it will go back up and go side to side if they had any siblings, brothers or sisters, and then if they did not, it would go up to the parents last. But most of the time the parents wouldn't still be alive, so then it just gets into, do they have kids, and then it just turns into this big pyramid. So sometimes you can have these deals that seem so easy, and then, you know, title work will just blow up the deal. I can't tell you how many deals that I've lost to messy title. We even have a couple right now that we're working on, and we're trying to find some missing kids and things like that as well. So it's just part of the game, guys. You have to get really good at figuring out how to do title work. Now, this is your typical vacant home where everything has been overgrown, right? We look at the backside here, and the panel is in really good condition, but you know, we have some roof work that's needed. The fascia's falling off. There is a slight amount of foundation work that needs to be done on the exterior of the home, and the roof could be replaced. It depends on if you were going to keep it as a rental or a flip. Now, our original plan when we bought this home was to do a full flip, but because we got it so cheap and it's not in terrible condition, I might be able to just turn around and sell it as is on the MLS to either a first-time family or just somebody that's looking for their next investment project, because the rents are really decent in this neighborhood, and this area is growing like crazy. But there are some benefits, like I said, underneath the carpet, there's hardwood floors. There's just a lot of trash in the home. There's an active leak. So I'm just gonna do some little knick-knack things, do some landscaping, and my plan is to put it out as is and see if, you know, we can make a quick 40-50,000. And then if not, we still have time and the option to turn around and, you know, do a full-fledged flip. It's just gonna take a couple weeks because my guys are, you know, cycling through the projects that we currently have. But this is why I always say you should have multiple exit strategies, and this is why we just buy deeply discounted off-market properties. That way we have multiple options. Sometimes we don't have to do a full-fledged flip. We can just wholesale the property and things like that. So just keep these options open when you guys are looking at these deals. It doesn't always have to be HGTV and you do, you know, the biggest and best rehab. Sometimes you can just clean up and list it as is. The goal in this business is to make money and do it quickly. You want your cash conversion cycle to go very fast, because flipping is a slow business, right? It takes 3 to 6 months to sell a house, and then in this market, it's going to take at least 3 to 4 months once you list it. So just think about this, because money, holding costs, all these things start to add up on you, and they'll start to work against you. And then the last thing, always look for ways that you can find value, right? This property was marketed to me as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, which it technically is, but like I said, this front room is huge, and it's like an extra dining room. So we're just going to turn that into a 4th bedroom. So even if I just throw this on the MLS, it is going to be represented as a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, because that's what it technically is. Thank God the people had locks on the sliding doors. Not that this is a terrible area, but with it being abandoned, people could easily try to break in. So that's why we're gonna go ahead and just make sure she's all locked up. Because one of the houses we did in this area ended up being a squatter house, and it took me 6 months almost to get the guy out. We don't want that happening. Also, there's another one that's on the same street for sale, a lot smaller, and they're asking nearly just as much. So really good signs. And then here's the Leah trim property, guys, that almost killed us. The amount of foundation work, I mean, y'all remember that one. If you want to check out that video, check it out right here. But yeah, looks like they need to do some yard work. Luckily, there's no HOA in this neighborhood. And I've said it before, but I'll say it again. One of the reasons I love investing in this area, even though the homes are a little bit older than the 1970s that we like, this area is growing like crazy. They're putting up a few hundred homes. They're making a huge park here. You guys can see, just, you know, live work area. We're right by the medical district. They're doing a huge like $1 billion expansion. So like there's just so many things coming to this area. And that's why we like to come in and flip these homes, you know, get them at a good price, you know, be able to provide first time home buyers a beautifully remodeled project, because the amenities for the area are coming. Their values are going to go up. They're going to have equity for sure. All right, guys, we've made it to the next house. Let's go take a look and see what type of condition they left this one in, because I actually haven't been here since we closed last week. I came a couple days before we closed, but there was still a tenant in place, but we'll see what the condition looks like. And it's gonna be a lot similar to the last deal. We bought it for the same price. It is a little bit smaller. We only have a 1-car garage, but let's go inside and then we'll talk about all that good stuff. Hello, hello. All right, guys, let's take a look at this masterpiece. So this is a 3-bed, 1.5 bath. Like I said, the last one was a 3-2 that we're turning it into a 4-2. And once again, we picked this home up for the same price, $100,000. And it was a probate situation, but they actually had a family member staying here so that it didn't get broke into. But when I came last time, guys, there was so much stuff in this house, and it looks like they did a pretty decent job. Like I said, my guys are on their way to start trashing the rest out, but not bad. This is the master. Spider webs everywhere. Ugh. Half bath in here. Now, if we do a full flip, I'm gonna just steal half of this and I would just turn it into a stand-up shower. You can make a really small one and then just have a really small closet. But like I said, I'm probably just gonna try to sell this property as is, guys. We got it so cheap. It's not in terrible condition, even though there is a lot of stuff. This is the bath, or the worst room. Just a lot of books and stuff. But this house is very level. There have been comps sell for 140 to 150,000. So it's really good condition compared to everything that's wrong with it, which is really just cosmetic. And if you're looking for a rental or something, you know, this would be the ideal property. If rates were a lot lower, I'd actually look at keeping this home. And then this front room, you see we have this big open space. If we were to fully flip it, I would put a wall up from here to here, and there's your 4th bedroom. But that's just what we typically like to do. Let's go take a look out back though, because I know there's a lot of stuff back here. And this home actually comes with another benefit that I haven't talked about. Like you can see, the person staying here had a lot of stuff. But the positive of this home is it comes with this second like living quarters. So if you wanted to, you could potentially fix this up and you could rent it out for extra space. This is why I said I would probably try to keep it if I could. But we're gonna get all this stuff cleaned up back here. Once again, it's just overgrown. We're just gonna make it very presentable, and then like I said, we're probably just going to throw it up on the MLS and see what we can make happen. Now, I'm not sure if this would be worth saving, and last time I came in here there was just a lot of dogs, but it does have a concrete foundation. But like I said, I don't think it would be even worth saving. The AC is a train unit, so it's really good, but I don't think it's working. The electrical box is newer. So like I said, a lot of benefits. We just got to get this thing cleaned up, just make it look very, very presentable. And yeah, I don't know, guys, what do you think? Should we keep it? Should we demo it? What should we do? Like I said, I'm probably going to leave it up to the next buyer, but comment down below and let me know. We got to get this fence, or a new fence, put back up, because this goes back to the bayou. But just little cleanup things, guys. Little things. Hey, what's up, man? I'm gonna move my truck for you and everything. Just give me a minute. All right, guys, and just like that, it's dropped. Shout out to Kenny, guys. If you are in Houston and you need dumps, this man is a hustler. All my best subcontractors have come from Instagram. They've reached out to me or followed up with me for service. And Kenny, man, the reason he stood out is my first 2 dumps, he was like, hey, you ain't even got to charge me. He didn't ask for a repost, nothing. He just wanted to show love because I've put out so much content. So I greatly appreciate that, because that's like $1,400 right there. And since then, this is probably, that was like a month and a half ago. ago, I've already spent like 6 to 10 grand with him since, and he will forever have my business. I text him 2 hours ago because I forgot to order this dump. He said, look, I have it there by 12. They dropped it at 12:10, guys. Like, I will always support young hustlers that are about their business and do what they say. Now, this property was brought to us by a local wholesaler here. His name is Steve, and if you guys know, we've been working with him literally since his first deal till now, and he flips and wholesales, and he actually made around $30,000 on the wholesale fee. But there was a lot of probate stuff. Once again, he had to clear up title and all of these things that he had to deal with, similar to the last deal. But this is one of the good things about working with wholesalers or professionals is they have to deal with all that mess. When you're direct to seller, you have to deal with these things. But we picked this house up for $100,000. Like I said, it's a really good deal. Now they do sell for a little bit less over here. The comps are around 210 to 215. They even go up to 230. But that home had a 2-car garage, and they did it super nice on that flip, not gonna lie. But once again, we're gonna look at multiple options, see if we can just go ahead and get our money out of the deal, flip it quick. Like I said, it comes with this big building in the back, so I think this will be a nice addition, and we can just throw it on the MLS. But we do have to get it cleaned up and just make a nice presentation, but I think it'll look a lot better the next time you guys see it. And there's also other benefits, such as there's hardwood flooring underneath the carpet and things like that. So we're just gonna accent those features when we go to list it, even if it's an as-is product, because there are as-is sales that are around 140 and 150. So I'm hoping that we can just sell it really quick to maybe a family that wants to come in, put in some sweat equity, rent out this back house, maybe somebody looking for a new rental. You really never know who's going to be the buyer, but it only takes one to get the deal done. And we look at, once again, just getting the money flipped fast, and how can we do that? So my trash out guys are here. They're going to get started. Y'all saw the dump was already dropped, so we're getting moving because this thing has already been sitting a week. Now with the buyers, you know, it's okay in this market if we hold it just a little bit longer, just because that's the market that we are in. But time is money, guys. You have to get things moving as fast as possible. And I just wanted to wait till both homes were ready to go. That way my guys can kind of bounce back and forth. If I need to share a dump or things like that, you know, we can make that happen just to save a little bit of money in the flip process. But if you guys made it this far in the video, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, because I drop new videos every Sunday, 6 p.m. CST. Until next time, peace.